The second annual Nevis Youth Careers Expo was held on the 18th of January 2023, and here with us is founder and co-director Gabriella Brantley. Well, she's here with us virtually, so welcome back to GMSKN, Gabriella.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right, well, it's always great talking with you. And of course, we're talking about the Youth Expo. We want a little bit of a summary because the last time you were here, we knew that you were in the planning phase for the NYCE 2022. So tell us about that. How did that go?
So the NYCE 2022 was a great success. Obviously, it was our first ever expo. So it was something we weren't really accustomed to. We didn't know how it would all work out. So I'd honestly say the organizational bit for this year was a lot better, having had last year to sort of practice and know, okay, what works best. But it was a great success. The feedback has been very, very good from both the professionals and the students. So I think it was really, really good, yeah.
Nice. So were there any new careers added, and how many careers were displayed at this year's event?
So I definitely say there were a lot more careers this year. I think there were over 40 different businesses in total. I'd say maybe around 25 different careers. One career that we had a lot more of this year that we didn't have last year was entrepreneurship generally. So we had a lot of people, for example, Old Road Rum in St. Kitts, they came over and they spoke to the students about how they started, how they developed Old Road Rum, the sort of planning that went into that. We had piercers, we had people coming from both St. Kitts and Nevis, which is something we didn't have last year. So definitely the entrepreneurs, something we didn't have last year. Okay. I think we also had this year a lot more IT than we did last year. We tried to incorporate a lot more of the things that we don't see a lot of. So of course in St. Kitts Nevis, we have a lot of doctors, lots of lawyers, lots of accountants, but we don't have the sort of people we need in maybe IT, tech, telecommunications generally. So we had quite a few persons coming in talking to us about tech. So I definitely say entrepreneurship and tech are two areas where we had a lot more people and a lot more buzz. The students really, really enjoyed those areas.
Lovely.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the feedback that you got, if any, specifically concerning the tech careers, because you did say you had quite a lot of people coming to talk about that. What can you tell us?
Yeah. I think a lot of students are interested in the area, but much like the reason why we started this careers fair in the first place, they just don't have anybody to talk to. So they might hear about it, and even at CSEC level, CAPE level, they might do IT. But because they don't have anybody there who's physically doing it, maybe went off to study, has done it abroad, they see it as something that looks interesting, but something they can't achieve because they just simply don't know how. So I think because of that, especially as I said, IT and definitely entrepreneurship, because those things you see or you may hear about on TV or see on different movies, etc., but you don't actually know people who do it. I think students were really, really intrigued by those areas, talking to the professionals who do IT, who do entrepreneurship, asking them what schools they went to, what sort of grades they had to get in order to be where they're at today. So I definitely say that the IT table was a hit, and the entrepreneurship table was certainly a hit too. I think the students really, really loved
it. Well, all this planning could not have happened without you, of course. And whom else was on your team this year?
Oh, my dream team is what I call them. I have the best team ever for both careers fairs, both last year and this year. I've been in England. Last year I was doing my undergraduate law degree. Now I'm doing my postgraduate studies in law. So both times, as you say, I can do only so much from England. So I have a fantastic team, co-directed by the Honorable Janelle Nisbet. And we had other members, for example, Shakana Thomas, Chris Clark, Mr. Dak Brown, Catherine Seabrooks. These are persons who were with us last year and continued on with us this year. So, and they're the people who make it happen. They're the people who are on the ground and who set up, who interact, who clean up after. So I certainly could not have done any of this without my team, clearly being from living in England. So I have a dream team, like I said. I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Lovely.
Especially the cleanup crew, since you're all the way over there.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about the future plans for NYCE.
So, we have so many future plans where we want to expand. I can say that for sure. We're getting calls from St. Kitts. St. Kitts is asking us, so you don't want to do a careers fair in St. Kitts? You're just going to keep it as a Nevis careers fair? So we're getting calls from St. Kitts. I don't know how that's going to happen because I'm going to have to maybe quadruple my team that I have now, because it's a lot of work to do the Nevis aspects, much less a St. Kitts and Nevis aspect. But we'll see. Time will tell. But we're getting calls for that. And NYC is also being asked to do different mergers with different up-and-coming nonprofit organizations as well. So we're looking to do different collabs, different mergers with people who are like-minded, people who are on the same path of youth empowerment, youth development. So we have a lot planned. I don't want to give too much away. There's certainly a lot that's going on in the background that we're planning for. And of course, NYCE3, I promised the Ministry of Education that we do NYCE every year. It'd be an annual event. And I plan to keep that. So of course we have NYCE3 that, we're starting to think about and we're starting to plan towards for next year.
Sounds good.
I'm jealous, I have to tell you, Gabrielle, honestly, seriously, like when I was that age, the most you could hope for is perhaps putting on a lab coat and going to school for a day and telling everybody you want to be a scientist or a doctor or something like that. But now you've got all of these alternative careers, you're bringing people and you're growing, you're expanding, the students are excited. Are the parents equally excited if you've talked to any of them?
To be honest, I haven't spoken to many parents. I've spoken mostly to students and participating businesses. But I would hope, I really hope that they see the merit in it, all the opportunities that are available to students. We even have different universities coming in. So we had UWI Open Campus, who came in and were talking to the students about how they could apply to UWI, what the dates are, the cutoff points for applications, etc. So I would hope that they see the beauty in the process. And as you would have said, in my time too, which was literally just the other day, when I was in fifth form, sixth form, we didn't have anything like this. I came to England for my sixth form, and that's when I saw, oh, okay, they had lots of different careers fairs. Actually, at the school I went to, you were forced to go to these careers fairs. So I thought to myself, wow, look at the difference between being in England and being forced out of it. I mean, it's not voluntary at all to go and speak to professionals who are eager and keen to speak to you, versus home, where you don't have that. You have to physically seek out help. You have to physically go to the banks, go to the IT departments and talk to people. So that was actually one of the reasons why we created what we created, so that we don't have to, the future students at least, don't have to sort of struggle, if that makes sense, in the way that maybe some others would have to physically seek out. So hopefully this is a way of starting a conversation, having dialogue between businesses and students, getting to know persons who work in the businesses. So perhaps when you get to the interview stage later on, maybe in 5 years, you go to Bank of Nevis for an interview. The person who's interviewing you might be the person who's at the careers fair talking to you. So that's the hope. That's the hope, to form those connections, to network, and to get students thinking about what they want to do. So.
Indeed. Wow.
And to make education real, because obviously if you're in the classroom, you're insulated. But if you get out there and you interact, and you get better understanding, it makes sense. Very impressive. Very impressive, Gabriella.
Now we know there were some sponsors that helped you with this event. Are you willing to name some of them?
Of course.
All right.
Of course. Firstly, I should start by saying thank you so much to our sponsors. Obviously, NYCE is no cheap venture for obvious reasons. So we couldn't do this at all without the help of our sponsors. So we had this year, for platinum sponsors, we had the Bank of Nevis International Limited, and we had Daniel Brantley Attorneys at Law. For our gold sponsors, we had Bank of Nevis Limited, who were one of our sponsors last year, and they came back this year. We had 17 Degrees North Realtors, Ex Petrol, and The Finished Touch Limited. Our silver sponsors this year were St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Limited. Again, they were a sponsor last year and they've come back this year. KFC and Powett Elite Group. And lastly, for our bronze sponsors, we had Last Lap Bar, Hamilton Trust, Mac Pennies Limited, and Indian Summer Restaurant. So thank you to them. Then this would just be a thought without, the sponsorship that they've provided us with. Some for 2 years in a row. So
Yeah, so you're naming some businesses on St. Kitts as well, so I can see why you'd get that push to expand to St. Kitts as well.
Certainly.
Wow.
They're really pushing that agenda. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do for the students in St. Kitts.
I don't know. I'm listening to all of this, and I'm getting really fascinated by the idea of students being able to engage professionals one-on-one. And I'm curious to know if there are, or if you are aware of any engagements where they talk about things like soft skills, customer service, if there are those themes that keep, coming up regardless of the particular career, and how important that is to you as you organize this event as well.
In terms of other events that speak on soft skills, etc.
Or even yours, just if it comes up incidentally.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any other, but again, I'm sure there must be some that do something like this, or maybe teach students about soft skills, etc. But certainly that's something that we hope that the students get out of NYCE too. Speaking to different industries, clearly different industries would have different requirements. For example, we had hospitality both last year and this year, and obviously hospitality in themselves have different training, etc., that they have to go through. And I know that some of the, for example, culinary chefs and the hospitality industry were talking to the students about some of the training they have to do. So indirectly, they do get told about soft skills, etc. I can't say for certain whether there are any other NYCE-like sort of nonprofits that do something. But I think this would be a perfect opportunity to tell you about an upcoming nonprofit that I know about called Inspire SKN, which is looking to do something quite similar to what you just spoke about regarding soft skills. So this one, I have to speak about it. It's founded by my classmates, so Mr. Aaron Brown and Mr. Tokwan Martin Clark. And what it is essentially a forum where we speak to students about the scholarship opportunities that are available to the students in St. Kitts Nevis. And through that, we do plan. I've been asked to be co-director, hence I'm very excited for this program. And through that, we also plan to be talking to students about soft skills. That's one of the main reasons for Inspire SKN. Talk to students about soft skills, talk to students about what sort of things they should do to include in their applications for different universities, for different scholarship opportunities that the government is offering. So although I don't know of one now, I do know of one that's up and coming that plans to do just that. So watch your space.
Will do, Gabriella.
Gabriella has plans started for NYCE 3. Yes,
I can definitely say that. Obviously, we're still exhausted from NYCE 2. It's quite a hefty thing to put on. Okay. So we are still trying to sort of take a break, take a bit of a vacation from NYCE. But we are certainly thinking about NYCE 3 and perhaps St. Kitts version coming up. Who knows, in the years to come. So we certainly started thinking about it, how we can expand it, how we can cater to more businesses, more sponsors, maybe perhaps change the location so we can have even more students. We've also been asked whether we can make it an event or maybe perhaps have a separate event for younger students. So that's something we're considering too. So maybe students in the third form, second forms. So we certainly have started the planning for NYCE3, and we're certainly looking to expand it. In what ways? Not sure yet, but
Okay.
we're certainly looking forward to NYCE3.
Well, we want to make this process as seamless as possible for you. So how do people get in touch with you if they're listening and they say, you know what, I want to be part of this venture. I want to sponsor. I want to contribute in some way.
Okay, so I would say the main mode of communication for us is our email. So that's Nevis Youth Careers with an S, Expo @gmail.com. So again, that's Nevis Youth Careers Expo @gmail.com. And our cell number is 665-8558.
Wow. I'm jealous. And this is so unfair because all of these opportunities, and you're doing great things, you and your team. So I can't wait to see what you do when you actually come to St. Kitts, because you wouldn't believe it. As I'm listening to you right now, I'm going over all these things and I say, okay, Nevis is nice. You've got the NYCE. What are you going to do when you have to add an SK to that? I can't wait to see. So that's a challenge for you.
I was thinking about it. Actually, it's a valid question because I thought of this. I'm thinking maybe Skies, St. Kitts Youth Careers Expo, Skies and Nice. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, you got something.
No, I don't want to sort of count my chickens before they hatch, so we don't know yet.
Okay.
But and I do need to speak to my co-director, Honorable General Nisbet, about this because we haven't had the conversation yet. It's just something that it's looming and everybody's talking about and wondering, okay, are we going to expand it? But if we do, I think Skies has a sort of ring to it. I really do. So,
you're reading my mind. You're reading my mind, Gabriella. So definitely, I endorse that one.
Yeah. How about a combination too, Gabriella? Like you just combine the two. So
yes,
one year St. Kitts goes to Nevis, and the next year Nevis comes to St. Kitts, so the kids can get the exchange experience.
Yeah, it's just finding a venue that will be big enough to host 5th and 6th form students from the entire federation. It'd just be a matter of, I would probably have to change venue. That's for sure. But yeah.
Well, it's been a delight speaking with you. Yeah. Great to see you live, because the last time you were here was just your photo. So great to see you.